Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Women's Rugby Show. I'm Sam, by the way, and today I'm here with a bit of a different, but it still is, a Discussions with a Cuppa episode. So grab yourself a cup of tea and sit down to watch as I speak to some of the Red Roses, as well as Red Roses head coach Simon Middleton, ahead of this weekend's Women's Six Nations final against France at the Twickenham Stoop. We're going to be there this week and we're really excited for this one. But before we get into this video and hear from the Red Roses and Simon, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Women's Rugby Show on YouTube, and also check us out across all social medias so you don't miss any content that we bring you this weekend. If you've done all that, well, let's get into the video. Have you kind of watched their performances so far, the Six Nations, and kept an eye on some of their key performers?
Yeah, massively. It's part of what we do, with our analysis going into a game. You have to make sure that you're watching the games. I think all of us do anyway. Plenty of rugby to watch over the weekend, but yeah, it's really important for us that we note their key players. We know how to deal with them on the pitch. So yeah, it's a really key part of our analysis going into game week.
Where do you kind of see their key areas of potential threat to you and the Red Roses, the rest of the side?
I think they've got quite a few threats, and it's about how we deal with them. But you look at some of the players they've brought in. They're 15, but also the nines that they've got with Sansu and Bourdon. We know that there's plenty of threats across the park with Safi as well. But I think for us this week, we're aware of that, but we focus on us and we go out there and we make sure that we process the performance that we want to put in, and that is taking into consideration but it's making sure that we go out and put the performance we want to put in.
And finally, from me, you and Amy obviously battling out for the two shirt for the whole of the tournament. How is that kind of competition between you two for places? Do both of your strong performances for club drive each other on to be your best player each?
Yeah, massively. I think it's a really competitive position to be in with both me and Amy playing hooker, and I think we really drive each other and push each other, and I think that's a really important part of being part of a team, and sort of knowing that sometimes your role will be slightly different in terms of being a finisher, but also making sure that we push each other, challenge each other, support each other in what we do, because essentially we're all in this team together and we all want to go out and put our performances in.
Perfect. Cheers. Thank you. Yeah. Hi, Claudia. I mentioned it to Lark about, obviously she has Amy as her competition. You've got Leanne. How much do you drive each other on to become the best players you both can?
Yeah. Hi, Sam. Yeah, we definitely drive each other on. I think it's really important. We're going to be competitive. There's only one shirt at the end of the day, and we're always going to compete for that shirt. But it's about focusing on yourself in terms of what you provide, what's the best version of you, and then making sure that the other scrum halves are presenting their best versions of them as well, which is really important. I mean, when we look at really big competitions, you need more than one player in any shirt. You're going to need your whole squad of 31 or something that you can take to the World Cup. So yeah, it's about really pushing each other on and making sure that you're all in the best place possible.
And how much does Leanne's kind of style of play kind of influence what you do? Do you kind of take learnings from her as well?
No, I think it's about building your own character and playing the game how you want to play it. So for me, I like to run with ball in hand, and that's something that I work on. So it's all about myself and what the best version of me looks like as a scrum half, and that might be different to Leanne, and that's a good thing. I think we both want to push each other on to be really good scrum halves, but at the same time develop our own sort of avenues through which we play the game.
And obviously you had Flo Robinson from Exeter in the wider training squad. How nice is it to have kind of younger, different face involved in the camp?
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's really important because the depth of the England squad is one of its strongest points, I think. We put out a starting 15 and then a completely different starting 15, and they'd almost be just as strong as each other. And it's really important to have young players coming in, getting experience, being used to the environment, because one thing, you have to hand over the shirt and you want them to be in the best position possible.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, Simon. Obviously, Marley comes back into the side for the weekend, and she said in one of the inside lines how she was obviously disappointed to miss out against Italy. How well has she reacted in the last 2 training weeks to earn her position back in the side?
To be honest, Sam, she reacted exactly as she did in the training sessions before and after the selection for the Italy game. She's an absolute pro, is Marley. She doesn't know any other way but to train like 100% with everything she's got. And she's like, I mean, obviously we've known Marley for a long time now. I think the position she's matured into within the team, because this comes back to the leadership bit. I think she's turned into a great leader within the squad without being a player who puts herself forward for the limelight. She's just the example she sets on the field, and the energy she brings is fantastic. And so, like you say, massively disappointed about not being selected for Italy. Dealt with it in completely the right way, and has trained fantastically well this week. And obviously is really pleased to be back in the side. And I think you could see last week how much she was missed from the contact area. I think we left a couple of players out of the side last week, and when you looked at the performance, particularly first half, I mean, we didn't have a lot of defending to do second half, but Italy pretty much played, a real high tempo game that first half, and that was because we didn't attack the contact area enough. We didn't influence the contact area enough, and that's one of the things that Marley does, along with a lot of other things. So she'll be chomping at the bit this week as ever.
And obviously the first 2 games, you had the first half really strong performance against Scotland, second half against Italy. How much of in these last 2 weeks has the focus been on making that performance a full 80-minute performance?
Yeah, I mean, you always want the perfect game, don't you? You always want to play for the full 80. I think it's probably unrealistic to think that you're ever going to get that, but you strive towards it. You always keep striving towards it. But we definitely have to be more consistent in both halves. We have to start well, like we did against Scotland. We have to finish well, like we did against Italy, and we have to do our very best in the meantime to influence the game as much as possible in the middle section. So yeah, we're certainly looking for more continuity in our intensity. I think it's probably the best way of putting it. That's definitely a focus for us this week, Sam.
And do you think having the weekend off last weekend may benefit you coming into this weekend with France maybe not being as well rested as you are?
Well, I'll let Skaz answer that from a playing point of view, if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I think look, you can look at it both ways in terms of one argument is continuity, playing weekend on weekend, and the other argument is actually we all got to be at home for the weekend. So I think for me personally, it was really nice just to be at home, have a mental switch off, go and see my parents in the garden and things like that. Just things that normal people are able to do, which has been quite hard in this kind of Six Nations bubble. So I think for me, having the weekend off has been really nice. I think you saw on Monday, a lot of people came back, energy was high. Everybody knew the task in hand for this week. We know the challenge that's ahead of us. So I think just having that little switch off has been a really good thing for us.
And finally for me, obviously Emily, the game on Saturdays on BBC Two. How excited are you for this to be kind of broadcast at such a wider level as well?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's always what we want. We want to showcase what we do in our sport to as many people as possible. And obviously we're not able to do that at the moment in terms of, fans at the stadium, but to have it on terrestrial TV and, being well publicised that it's there is awesome for us. And, as we keep saying, that the game itself is dipped to be a pretty good one, and hopefully that's the case, and the people that tune in, whether they be new viewers or kind of old fans, are really enjoying and get behind it.
Perfect, thank you.